Well, I don't know how I got here, but this is where I'm at.
Beautiful day for the chuggies. Woo. We're a little bit happier today, not so much rain. Alright, g'day to everyone. Thanks for tuning in again. Yeah, today we're going to be looking at 4x100 to 5x100 conversion. Got behind me a bunch of parts. Last video, Mk3, the 1.8 turbo. Currently got these wheels just there. They're 5x100 wheels, but right now the existing pattern on the car is 4x100. Two big things that I want to run: bigger brakes and the wide track conversion. So hence why I'm doing the 5x100 conversion. So I wrecked a VR6 last year sometime with a friend of mine. Here's some pictures of him. Yeah, we had a lot of fun. So we pulled off both the front and rear beams, basically got everything that was helpful for the 5x100 conversion, got some cool seats and whatnot from it, so that was really good. So here we have a bunch of parts. This stuff is for the rear. So what did I pick up? Some dunk 5x100 rear brakes, fresh wheel bearings. Why not? If you're going to be doing the discs, all this stuff, you definitely want to be doing your wheel bearings. Got the rear shields as well. I just took these off the car that I wrecked. So spindle, that's what it's called. Still got like the little washer, the little spacing ring too. I have lost one of these before and it's very annoying to get it back. So this goes on for sort of like your little dust cap thing. That goes on first, but we'll run through that. Pads, nothing special about that. So ECS stainless brake lines. Why have I got banjo fittings for a Mk3 brake system? Well, sit tight. Over here in my little dusty collection, I've got, here's an example of one, freshly sprayed blue. I did this not too long ago. Mark IV alloy rear calipers. Bit lighter, better than the cast iron Mk3 ones. My Mk3 ones were shredded anyway, so run these ones, just a bit of servicing on the pins. They were a bit, how you going? So I put some new boots on and greased them up. So they're a really good swap, just to save a few kilos. And like I said, if you're doing the upgrade, there's a few things you may as well get done at the same time. So here's the existing setup. I don't think I'm going to do any bushes while I'm here. Like the main bush really is the rear beam bush, but it all looks pretty good. I've sort of had a bit of a peek under there.
Alright, here I am in my junk stash. So this is the rear beam that I removed from the VR6 with my mate. I'm just trying to understand where the wide track actually comes from, and it's definitely just from beam width. So 1357, let's say 58. And now here I am on the 4-stud beam that has still on the car. I haven't changed to the VR6 beam because, oh no, I can't get focused. Now my head's stuck in the wheel arch. That's reading like 1363 or something. So this one's actually 5mm wider. So my 4-stud beam is actually wider than my VR6 5-stud beam. So okay, I'll keep this one on the car. And just in case anyone asks, 4 stud stub axle, 5 stud stub axle, they are the exact same height. Now just got to get this caliper off, so what I'll do is take the handbrake cable off. Ta-da! This is just really stuck though, so I'm going to fight this for a while. I'm getting desperate. Things aren't working. Okay, I look like I've just fought a brake line. It's because I have. I've completely stripped mostly that nut, the flaring nut, there. So I've got it on with vice grips. And I, for all my dear life, got a 14mm spanner on this, and I finally managed to, where's my spanner gone? I finally managed to crack it. Woo! Alright, where am I at? I've got the stub axles off both sides now. Just got the old caliper lines off, so now I'll change them over. It's a little bit nicer. When I did the Mark II, all that stuff, like the stub axles and stuff like that, brake shields, whatever, I sprayed all of it. Resprayed all of it, cleaned it all, resprayed it. Nah, too much effort for a race car now. So this one gets less love because it'll probably get dirty. Okay, rear axle, the stub axle is now back on, ready for the, ooh, pardon me, the brake disc to go back on. So these are my brakes. So very nicely marked left. So these are from VMAX, I believe. These are the R-type slotted ones. I got these before on the Mark II, and I really liked them. They come with part of the bearing already pressed in. So both of them already pressed in, which is really helpful. So all I have to do is pack them. Oh, that's the wrong one. But all I have to do is pack them now, get the bearings in. So that's the, this is the bigger bearing. So that one sits in there, and then this is the seal that goes over the top of it. And then you do the other one once it's then on the car. So I'll go in and shove grease all through this and then put it on. So this can now go on. Oh, that feels pretty good, as it should. Now, need to pack my other one, and then he sits in the front like that. Got the other bearing on now. So then I get this guy. He doesn't come in the kit, you have to keep that from last time. He'll just go on. Ooh, make sure it's, definitely make sure it's clean. Push him on a bit. Get your nut, new nut. When you put the nut on, you need to sort of preload it a bit. Oops. Doesn't have to be crazy tight, just tighten it up a bit until sort of the disc stops roughly spinning. Like that. Back it off. Do it again. And basically I just tighten this till I feel a little bit of resistance, and that's it. Here goes on. Cotter pin. Oh wow, come on. Woohoo! All done. Don't look at how flat that is from how hard I beat it, but that is one rebuilt wheel bearing, changed from 4x100 to 5x100. Okay. Here I am, alley caliper, alley thread. Alley threads break. Well, they don't break if you just don't put it in straight. I managed to scrounge this one from work, 12 by 1. That's a pretty rare tap. I've just had to run this through that thread because when I was trying to put the bolt in, it was getting all jammed up. It was threading in crookedly. Someone had maybe shoved a bolt in it the wrong way before, or tried shoving the wrong bolt in it.
So that was everything for the rear conversion. Now for the front conversion. Got everything in a bit of a wacky order here. Let's see what I got. Tie rod end. Sway bar links. It's that's not good at all. VR6 ball joint. And why not do the wheel bearings, because those ones aren't looking too pretty that are currently sitting in there. Then what have we got in here? Oh, brake pads. Dust guards. So again, ECS stainless brake lines, banjo fitting. So you're thinking Mk3. Well, I think I mentioned this in my last video. These are 312mm Audi TT brake discs. So right now, my current caliper size, disc size is nowhere near that. Let me actually measure it. Roughly eyeballing it, these are no bigger than 260. So I think it's 256 is the front size. Right, this would probably be easier if I did it when everything's off the car, but why not show you now? Oh, no, can't do it. Polyurethane bushes. So control arm bushes. So these are the VR6 control arms. They've got, this is where the sway bar link mounts to, on this bit here. On the 4x100 or the narrower ones, you can see there that the sway bar comes into that part of the control arm. So yeah, I'll replace bush. I'll do that both sides. Here are the uprights. I've removed the CVs out of this, they're very stuck. And then the front sway bar. So a little bit different to the standard sway bar that's in there right now. This is the 20mm sway bar. Yep, 20mm sway bar. But I don't think this sway bar is going to be a forever thing. That'll probably come out of the car eventually once I find a few more dollars, once my sponsorships kick in. But that takes the fun out of it. wouldn't be fun if you could just work on cars and buy everything and pay everyone to do everything and have the best cars? Yeah, some might disagree.
Well, here I am in at work, trying to get this CV joint out. It's turned out to be quite a pain. Even tried it on the press first. Didn't work. Found the puller set tucked in the cupboard up here. So I've managed to wrangle that out, and right now, with all my might, I'm finally getting some movement just.
Well, I finally ended up getting this one out. It took a lot of whacking with my friend. I soaked a WD-40 over the night, held it with lots of tension. So I just whacked it there, sort of worked my way around a little bit. Put a lot of tension on that, whack. Probably gave it 20 good whacks, and then all of a sudden it just popped just that little bit. And now I've finally reached this point where I should just be able to, there we go, pull it out. So it's a little bit rusty inside. Nothing noticeable, but I've absolutely punched the end of this CV. I didn't have a nut on there, so it has wrecked the thread completely.
So here's the nut to the CV, and it's a M20 fine thread, so M20 1.5 thread. So I'll grab the die to it, and I'm hoping that I can run it over here. I might have to grind it down a little bit more, but I'm hoping I can run it over here and get a nice thread back on it. There should be enough thread on there for it to grab pretty well. Now I have to go through and clean all this old grease out. These boots were torn, so you can see that one there, how it's torn. So I'm just going to go through, put new ones on. Also means I have to pull the joints off, so wish me luck doing that. Well, that was easier than I thought. So I've done the outer one here, got all the bolts out. I didn't go much further than disassembling it here. I'm able to degrease it pretty well, just this way. And looking at all the walls and that sort of thing, I am pretty happy with all of that. So I'm going to go ahead and, I don't know what I was filming this then. I'm going to go ahead and reassemble this and then get them both ready for repacking. Oh boy, I just got that back together. Not fun at all. That takes a lot of moving around to get that together. Anyways, done. Now just pack it. Okay, so I've pulled the inner one apart. So you just pop out all the bolts, get it on an angle, pop them out. Given a good clean up, I'm pretty happy with all those surfaces in there. Nothing concerning. Same with this one. Some tiny wear marks, but nothing that is gonna bother me too much. And that is now 2 successfully rebuilt CV joints. New boots, new clamps, lots of grease. Scrub-a-dub-dub. Getting into these parts, giving them a good old clean before they go back on the car. So this flange, that's what it should look like. This is currently what it looks like. I had a snapped, whatever size it is, that little thing that holds the disc on Yeah, that was a snapped bolt. As provided, I've just snapped my 2.5mm drill bit in this. I'm trying to drill it out to 3mm. 3mm hole, and then I'm hoping I can use an easy out on it, but we never know. So let's see how this goes. Oh, easy peasy. Don't even know what I was stressing about. Nice. That's pretty good. Okay, next problem with these flanges is here. The inner part of the bearing stayed on when I pressed them off, so I'm trying to figure out a good way to do this without wrecking the surface here of the flange, or the hub, whatever you call it. What I'm thinking of trying is, I have my puller tool here, so I'm just going to start with trying to grind in just a couple slots into the side, see if I can get enough hold with this so I can use it. Obviously the legs will be wider, so I can use it like that and see if I can pull it off that way. Okay, with my crazy jig that I came up with, I was finally able to pop it a little bit loose. So now if I take this off, oh, that's really stuck on that. One sec. I can now get my jig nicely under that lip, so I should be able to pull this off now. Fingers crossed. And that is how you remove the inner part of the bearing without scoring up at all part of the hub. So that's a win. That'll save me 150 bucks. Woo. Okay, so all I'm doing is got a block underneath just to keep it all flat. Bearing, slightly undersized, whatever it's called. Okay, bearings pressed in. Circlip next, then hub, and then done. Giving these a good clean up, just wire brushed out the insides. So I've got some poly bushes, 1, 2. Now I already took the old ones out at work, I did the hard stuff at work. This is easy. Basically you just sit it in the vise, you put the control arm next to it, squeeze it together, and it should just plop right in. That took superhuman strength. So this one will actually go in 2 ways. So I'll grease them up, got some grease here, and then I can push them in, and that's basically it. Okay, that was not nearly as fun as I remember it being. Every time I went to squeeze it into the jack, vice, it would just poo shoot itself out crookedly. Like, I'll demonstrate. I'll turn the camera. Here, like this, pretend it's in the vise, squeezing in. Squeezing in that way. Every time I do it, it would just go whoop. Anyways, so here it is. 1, 2, ball joint, new sway bar link. Whew, let's get these on the car. Ta-da! Just take the whole thing off. How much easier? Don't think that CV joint nut is coming off. That's serious strength. Okay, I can't remember where I've gotten to with videoing, but where I'm at now is getting the old sway bar out. My door is swinging. Need to close that before it hits something. There's 3 bolts, 3 either side. So you got the rear bolt here, the rear control arm bolt, yep, and then the front control arm bolt. Oh, sorry, just the front subframe bolt. So what I basically want to do is I want the subframe to drop like that, so then I can slide this sway bar over the back here and straight out. So don't forget that your engine is attached to your subframe, so what I might even do is just jack the bottom of the engine up, so that takes a lot of the load. Then I can somewhat drop the subframe and hopefully not have any problems with anything come crashing down on me. Woo! I have a nice and, oh, what am I trying to wobble? Freely wobbly subframe. So jack holding up engine, jack holding up subframe, jack stands holding up body. So I should just be able to get this now. Oh, I'll have to get, there's that plate there. Of course, I'll need to pry that out. Be right back. Okay, anyways, push the bush off and then you can take the bracket off separately. And then this whole thing now, oh no, hopefully I haven't put my jack stands right in the way. I might have. Oh, this side's down anyway. Out. Done. Okay, so looking, this is like rear of the vehicle, front of the vehicle. These are the 2 sway bars, so that's like your 4-cylinder one with the smaller control arms. So you can see overall it's a bit narrower. And then what I meant by the tapped ends was the VR6 ones have the sway bar links actually bolted in like so. There's these random little lips just on the back side of when you put your bush in. It used to obviously catch the old style or the OEM ones, which just obviously they just catch the sleeve as it comes in. But as you can see on mine, the bush actually sits past the sleeve. Got me little favourite friend in the world. If you haven't got a pneumatic die grinder, get one. So I am just twiddling away at this and getting rid of it. And voila, something like that. You won't often see me opening up the old manual, but sometimes when it comes to doing up the old subframe bolts, I don't want to lose my subframe, so I better see how tidy I've got to do them all. Okay, so I've somewhat got the brake assembly set up. Well, I got the disc on. So, see if I put that on there. The carrier will hit straight away. You can see from up here that I am out of room. So if I was to bolt that on, that's not going to sit flush. So I have to space that out. So to get the right offset now for the carrier, I've got 4 M12 washers stacked together, measuring about, or basically right on 6mm offset. So, original bolt, 35mm. Got a new 8.8 high tensile bolt, 10mm longer. So, unfortunately they couldn't sell me one already with the flanged head on it. So I got a 45mm one, plus this very cool lock washer, which is grooved on both sides, and then the two washers can't actually slip on each other because they're grooved into each other. So by the time I add that on, that should roughly add me on 6 mil. Yeah. Bit of a tighter gap, so that does freely spin. Okay, I'm just pacing. That was not fun. Where is it? I don't have to do that again, but I have to. The other side. Finally got the washers in. I ended up super gluing them together to help. I haven't actually tightened that down, so that's why it looks like it's sitting a bit weird. Yeah, super glued them together just try to keep them in shape a little bit, because it was tough to get it all to line up without losing all the washers everywhere, and everything's so heavy. So heavy. So that's one done. Everything is stuck. Everything. That's stripped off. So I got the vice grips there. It's been soaking in WD, and now I'm hitting it with some heat. Trying to get the old outer tie rods off, and this, I had to do this in the vise, so I've munched it there. This is so bound up. Even getting like 2 turns out of that was just terrible. So they're toast. They can't even thread off anymore. So I've pulled them out of the car, and I'll have to get some new ones because, well, that cooked. Setting the tie rods, so the left side, set it to 406 plus minus 1 mil from those 2 dimensions to get you started. If you've taken off both tie rods like I have, and I've got no idea how long they should be or where the center of the rack is, do this. So, got the assembly on, and I'm just trying to get this brake line in. Here, if I can show this, it's sort of like basically the shape of like a nut, but with double the amount of edges on it, if that makes sense. This one isn't the shape. Wow, this focus is brutal. This one isn't the shape of a nut. It's just got 2 tabs down the side, and then it's just got the flat section. So what I'm basically going to do is trim these tabs just down a touch that they'll end up squeezing in, and then hopefully the base here will sit up against the bottom there, and that should still give me enough for the flaring nut to do up into it like so. So there we go. Okay, I did accidentally take too much off, but I did. That's sort of what I brought it down to, and that's sort of where it started. Probably a little bit too much, but that does work. I got my other one in that way, so should be right. This little clamp too that comes off the flaring nut, I'm guessing it's some sort of spring just to keep the tension in the connection. All I did, that got in the way, so all I did was just did this. Oop. I just broke the 2 tabs off, so it's now like that. So it is still a bit springy, but yeah, the other way was too high. I couldn't actually get enough thread on, so I brought it down into this, and that should work perfectly. And so the other side with the long CV, I'm going to put that CV in first before putting the whole assembly on with it, because it's too long to do that, and I'm just going to end up poking grease everywhere. So I just unbolted this from the subframe. This was originally a 1.8 litre. I have no idea what this does. This just basically sits beneath the long drive shaft side, and it's just a big block of, looks slightly rusty, so I'm going to say steel. I don't know, someone let me know what it does. Okay, very sadly this caliper is back off the car. This is one of the front Audi TT brakes and it is stuck. Caliper piston will come out, but it will not retract by itself, so I think it's quite rusty, and basically when I had it on there I could push the brake in, but then it would just lock the disc. So that's annoying, so let's rebuild this. Well, I don't know how I got here, but this is where I'm at. I have completely destroyed the caliper. Piston, that is. Caliper's still in good shape. The piston is not, though. It is so rusty and extremely brittle. Whatever it is, chrome something, who knows. Basically what I've been doing is putting that in there, and then you can put like a bigger Allen key next to it like that, and then basically if you turn, you should be able to spin the caliper piston, but every time I've been doing that, it's just broken the caliper even more. So I'm just going to keep trying that for a while and see if I can just get this piston to spin. Okay, with a bit of harassment, I've made it to here, and I think finally now when I'm doing this trick, it is just, yeah, you can see it there, it's now moving the piston. So all I have to do is keep doing this. Gosh, you can see the rust just coming up from beside the seal. I'll just keep doing this and pulling up at the same time. I should be able to get it free. That is one beat up caliper piston, but you can see the rust that had formed. Yeah, it wasn't happy. Anyways, glad that's out. Bit more blue back on the caliper, given that I destroyed that, and that'll be ready for, yeah, new bits. Woo! Okay, well, it's been a bit of a change of scene. Well, the car, it's been around the block today. Oh yeah, that looks good now. Very happy with that. Rear's looking lovely. But yeah, it's nice to have these 17-inch wheels on here. I could probably get away with 16-inch wheels. That's alright, I'm happy with that. Very nice. All in all, the conversion is successful. This has definitely been worth it for me. It's good to be able to run proper size wheels now. It's really difficult finding the right stuff in 4x100. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments. Happy to answer anything. Otherwise, thanks for enduring the long video. I've got a bit coming. So you can already see that there's stickers on the car. So that clearly means I've made it to some sort of event. Stay tuned. I'll try to get the next video out a bit more quickly this time. Thanks for watching, guys.